anyone in enduro circles, whether that's here in Australia or in America or Europe, the guy standing next to me, Geoff Ballard, is sort of synonymous with Australian enduro riding, one of our most decorated riders, you know. And if you're a Yamaha fan, then probably more so, because Geoff ran, I think, for about 14 years through to 2012. Ran Yamaha's off-road race team.
Yep.
The reason we're here today, and welcome GB,
Thanks,
is
mate.
that you know, I think in that time, since 2012 through sort of 2019, you rode, you know, you started buying your own bikes, but you were not beholden to anybody, right? You bought absolutely everything.
Yep.
Exactly. A couple of Yamahas along the way, but a lot of everything else as well.
Yeah. Mm.
But I remember it wasn't until 2019, I think, that I brought maybe one of these, a 2019 model WR450F, up to you, and you jumped on it, and you hadn't been on one for quite some time, and you suddenly went, shit, I like this thing. And you're a kind of understated guy, so when you say you like it, it means you kind of really like it.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I don't think I rode other Yamahas, but not the 450s for quite a while. I jumped on one. I'm always doing that. You know, I'm going riding with mates and just jump on earlier ones, you know. And I wasn't a super fan of the earlier one, maybe the 15s and stuff like that. But, you know, very powerful and all that sort of stuff. But, yeah, so, yeah, I didn't realise you bought that bike up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go.
I think you stole it off me, or maybe you went
Oh,
and bought
yeah,
one.
yeah,
You
that's
did,
right,
you
yeah.
for a few months.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
yeah.
that reacquainted you with the bikes. And I remember you saying to me at the time, I really like this thing, but after a while you said, but you know what, I can't ride it for that long. It wears me out. I'm fast on it, but it wears me out.
Yeah,
Okay?
Yep. Yeah, I've always, you know, through the race team and stuff, we learnt to just time. I'm still kind of a racer in a way. I mean, obviously, life's changed and I'm not really anymore, but I do like to, you know, go with my mates, and we're always, you know, it's ego shuffling central out there, so we're trying to beat each other. But I like to moto a bit too. It's just, I mean, it's the love of riding bikes. It's basically that. Yeah. And I'm learning to do just more cruising and trail riding too. So there's a bit of everything, and you know, that's why I got different bikes.
Well, you said you liked that one, so that's a sort of 1920. That was basically the same model.
Yep.
Then you bought yourself a 21. About a year ago now, which was a new big upgrade.
Yep.
Anyway, we've been out here riding the 22, which is the 21 with some different plastics, and you said, I really like this one.
Yes.
The thing was a big upgrade on paper. Our experience today, or my experience certainly, is it's come a long way from engines to suspension to just the whole feel and balance of the bike. But for you, what was the biggest difference? You've lived with it, you've had the thing for about a year now. What was the biggest difference in this new generation?
Hard for me to pinpoint that, but it's like everything. You know, everything seems to be better. Everything seems to be refined, from the ergos to the engine and the chassis. You know, like I heard that it was you know, I don't follow a lot of the stuff, but I hear things and I go, okay, maybe I'll upgrade and go to the new one. And I'm really glad I did. It's an amazing bike, and I've got 3 main bikes that I ride a lot now, and you know, again, I'm the quickest on it, and this one doesn't wear me out as much as the other one. It actually feels light, you know, quite light. You know, obviously it's not as light as the smaller ones, but for a 450, it's still very powerful, but very smooth, and yeah, you know, I really like it. It does wear me out though. Power is the enemy in some ways, and it wears you out, you know.
And we've talked about this a lot. When you compare 250s and 450s in the same brand, you're saying from a Yami, because of the incredible way they've got the mass centralisation, whether it's with the reverse slanted cylinder, where the fuel tank is centrally located, the pipe, everything dragged into the centre. The differential between the capacities is not as big with Yamaha. You talk a lot about that.
Yeah, it's how I feel. Yeah, I've jumped off a KTM, which is lighter, a little bit lighter, but the Yamaha feels lighter to me, you know, in the tight stuff, which is where you feel the weight mostly, just throwing them around. And yeah, so they've done a good job of that. And yeah, I don't know what makes the difference. Obviously the fuel positioning, but it might be the cylinder or whatever. I don't look into the techo stuff, but you really feel it, you know. Yeah. So yeah, that's good, because as I'm getting older, I'm getting weaker, and you know, and you feel the weight when it's pushing against you. When you're trying to go fast, you can feel the weight. And so if it's less, you know, even though it's not, if it's feeling less and not taxing you as much, then that makes a big difference for me, you know.
Okay. Let's talk power delivery quickly, because, you know, I think right from 2016 when you know, Yami sort of based their WR450F off the motocrosser, it was always accused of being too aggressive and too hard, particularly in the tight technical stuff.
Yeah.
That I think has made a big step. And interestingly enough, you're not sticking a rag down the inlet. So on your 20 model, you had a rag down the inlet. On this new generation,
I tried it. I tried it. Yeah, I tried it. But yeah, you know, it takes a little bit of getting used to any bike, I suppose. And this is the most powerful bike I own, you know. So you get on it, you go, whoa, you know, you got to ride a little bit differently, but you know, I fell in love with that crazy torque where you're in the wrong gear and you're just lazy and you just go, no, it's, you know, I can't be bothered changing down, you just want to go, and it's an incredible engine that way. That's one of the things I find about this engine. So, you know, it makes it, I've learnt to ride it, you know, I had to relearn, like you get off this onto that. And at first I was going, man, it's in control of me a bit, but you soon pick up on that, and then you can take advantage of some of that good stuff I just said, you know, it's good.
And, you know, I guess one of the big marketing points of the bike is it's got what we call you know, the dual switch, so just the blue light, as we like to call it. So, you know, and I think, well, one, there's that, so we mucked around with that a lot today. So from the standard map, we sort of, you know, we call it the traction map or whatever, which actually dulls the thing down a fair bit.
Yep.
And then we also mucked around a little bit today with just the mapping, and now the fact that you can actually have the power tuner, you know, on a smartphone with a free app.
Yeah.
We're going to have to take a little bit more time to get more familiar with that, but it was, you know, managed to download a map today and get something really linear.
Yeah. Yeah, well today, this is such a different place than I normally ride. And here I feel that, you know, the map is I mean, it's made to just make it easier to ride, and it does, especially on you know, slipperier conditions. Today's pretty slippery because it's so dry and all that sort of stuff. But in the pines at home, which is what I ride a lot, I base a lot of things around there, my gearing even, and different things like that. But I learnt that the full power mode has the most, you know, pulling power, even without going crazy. If you're in the wrong gear, you can, and I like that, you know.
Get away with short.
Yeah, so it depends where you ride, but the switch works and it's a good thing. So yeah, they all kind of need it, especially for the powerful bikes, you know.
And you're no longer sticking the
no more rags, tuning, no more rags, yeah.
Mechanic. some of those Yamaha mechanics were turning.
Oh, whatever.
That one, mate. Listen, let's talk a little bit. As I said, you've lived with this bike. I think you said to me it's like as ready to race as you've seen from anything from
absolutely. Yeah.
But just take us through. You did do a few bits and pieces, just a personalised mods. You know, I think and something you always or often do is I think you're taking that 4mm spacer out there just to help, and that effectively.
I don't often do that. But these bikes turn so sharp. And like in a grass track or anything, I wanted that. But in the pines, where it's really technical, I wanted a little bit more. Even though they're stable, it's a different stable than a head shake. It just wants to turn too much, and it might climb up out of a rut or something like that a bit more when you weren't on balance and something like that. So I just wanted to have that raked out feel a bit more. So I basically dropped the forks down a bit. And I think I'm running about 107 mil or something like that.
Which is pretty critical on this, a 105.
Yeah, a lot of bikes I think it is. So, you know, but anyway, basically I did very little. If we're still talking about what I've done, so I changed the gearing, but that was again to suit Hampton Pine Forest. So I put one more tooth on the back, just so I could run third a bit more, just because it's a powerful bike. Third's a smoother gear, so just try to pull third through a lot of the pine and all that sort of stuff. I put liquid intelligence in it and took the fan off because, you know,
does it annoy you?
Yeah, it annoys me a bit. But yeah, I did very, very little. In fact, you know,
I think you have the pivot assist clutch because you like
modulation. Yeah, a little bit lighter on the clutch with a pivot assist, but it's just a slower disengagement. Yeah. So that was.
Wouldn't say that is light. That's as light.
It's pretty light,
really, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I don't even think about it, to be honest. You know, but it's just that engagement that I prefer, and I'm used to that a bit more with a cable clutch. So not a lot of things. You know, really. Compared to Makata, I've done more stuff. So, you know, it's, you know, and I didn't do anything for quite a while. So, I slowly went, I think I'll try this. And I tried a high seat on my other one and I liked it.
On the 20 model? Yeah.
On the 20, yeah, because I just wanted to push it down and make it turn a bit better. But this one's different, and I tried it on this one, and then I've gone back to the standard seat. So I've mucked around a little bit, but honestly, not much at all.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Well, I know that was about perching you over the front. You felt like you had a more commanding position, but I think, you know, I'm pretty sure with the new top triple clamp this time around, and they've moved the bars forward, I want to say 15 mil and a little bit lower, so you've automatically got that.
Yeah,
slightly more
it's
commanding
changed,
feel.
yeah.
What about living with it, mate? Living, maintenance, access issues? I mean, obviously, you know, you do pretty much all your own,
Look,
own work on the bike.
There's not a lot to do. You know, bikes are reliable nowadays, and obviously Yamaha's probably, you know, in the early days it was Honda and Yamaha, and it was a major fight there, and just through working with them, going to Japan, sometimes it's frustrating. They're so into reliability, you know. You want to try something and I've got to go through hell. So, but you know, they're amazing. You just service them and thrash them.
Yeah, and would you throw, I mean, you can save a kilo just if you throw a lithium battery in.
Yeah,
battery as well,
yeah, that's right.
Like that.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, I might have done that. I'm not sure about that. I'm getting confused. But yeah.
Bikes, mate.
Yeah, well, it's the 3. I know I put one into my beater, so I did that. But maybe I did one on the Yamaha too, but I can't remember because I've been separated because of the COVID situation. So you know, I'm missing the Yamaha bit, so it was good to have a ride on this one again. So yeah, it's been good.
I guess you know, last of all, you know, in between us filming this and when this video is going to publish, I think we will see the 2022 250 version of this, which from all reports that we're hearing has taken that really big step as well, and taken all the mods that this thing has as well.
I've heard there's a lot going on there, so it'll be interesting.
Cool. All right, mate, well, look, thanks for sharing our insight into it. You know, you really haven't done a lot on it, and it's what's kind of nice to see is actually all the what Yamaha is telling us in all their marketing guff is actually pretty much on point.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of a race bike if you want it to be, and it's a bloody good trail bike still. So they've done a good job. Yeah.